Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back, and if it's your first time, welcome. I know it's been a little bit since I've posted my last video. I am sorry about that. I took a little bit of a hiatus. I kind of hit a creative, I guess, dip, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to make, and I took a lot of attempts at different things. I got really stuck with trying to do mold making, which you'll actually see in this video. I did manage to eventually pull it off. Without further ado, in this video I'm going to be doing Dogoos from Hyperdimension Neptunia. They're one of the villains. By villains, I mean they're just one of the mob enemies. But they're super adorable, and they were pretty fun to make. So they essentially look like just little Hershey Kisses with dog faces. So pretty simple to sculpt. So I'll just show you that. And after I got the basic body shape, I went ahead and sanded it down. From here, I'm going to add the little muzzle. And while I'm adding the muzzle, I'm trying to just make sure to line it up with the little thing at the top of its head, just to make sure it's centered, and that way when I add the nose to it, it just makes sure everything's lined up. And after the muzzle and the little nose are added on, I'm going ahead to add some Bacon Bond where the eyes are supposed to go. And drop in the little eye. And here we go. Get these right into place. And then the same thing with the ears. And last but not least, we're going to add his little tail. And the initial sculpt is done. Right, in this step, I'm adding some blue tack to the bottom of the sculpture, and I'm putting it at the bottom of this cut. I'm getting it prepped in order to cast a silicone mold of it. So I'm grabbing 2 cups, and I'm going to put some A part and B part into these cups. I'm using Mold Star Fast. So that way it'll set up in about 30 minutes. I made some little lines where I expect I'll need to fill 2. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I had been trying to do molds for a while. I just kept messing them up. So I got discouraged with it, and I haven't tried to do this in a long time. So this is like my first real attempt in a long time. Well, first real attempt after a long string of failures in a long time. So I've been sitting down and watching some Robert Talone videos, and it's been really helpful. I know that I don't have a lot of the same equipment, but I feel like just like some of the little tips and tricks that I got from watching his videos helped me a lot with this process. I know that there's still a lot of room for improvement with the technique and the pour and whatnot, but at the end of the day, the cast didn't come out bad, so I guess it's a win. You'll see how that comes out in a little bit, so enjoy. So at this point, I have one of each size of the Dogoos, and I have them molded. I went ahead and cut them off camera, and I have them all set up now. I'm using some Moldstar Fast polyurethane. So these should set up in about 10 minutes. The downside is it does cure really fast, and the pot life isn't that long, so you'll actually see it start to cure on camera. So the first batch doesn't turn out as well as I thought, so I do a second batch, which actually works out because it makes the sculpt at the end look a lot better. I also figured that I really don't like using this hard cup. I wanted something that I could like bend a little bit more and get more of like an accurate pour. As you can see here, it looks a little bit better. It was a lot more comfortable to pour that way. Live and learn, I guess. And then, like I said, I did 2 sets. There's a lot of like pockmarks and like bubbles and whatnot in these, like the first set, but they actually didn't turn out that bad. This is actually the least damage that I've ever had things come out. And the second set actually came out a lot better because I tried to do some pre-pours ahead of time to make sure that I got some of the areas filled that had issues the first go around. So that way I avoided some of the pockmarks and bubble holes. There's a little bit of flashing and a little bit of excess, but with cleanup it all worked out. As you can see, I used a little bit of Milliput to fill in some of the parts that were missing or damaged. But yeah, a little bit of sanding on the Milliput and that'll all look beautiful at the end. And we're on to painting. So I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I got like a third, not even a third of the painting on camera, and then I lost the footage for the rest of it. So you're going to see the base coats, and then it's going to move on to the basing for the actual sculpt. So I apologize ahead of time for that. And we're going to get into creating the base. I cut a excess piece of XPS foam that I had laying around off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up the Dogoos how I want them or how I'm expecting them to be, and trace out how I want to do the cuts. In my mind, I'm imagining maybe a 2, maybe 3 tier like setting for this. There we go. Let's get that all charted out in pencil, and then I'll just do some cuts off camera. And now that it's all cut out, let's start hitting it with some aluminum foil to give it some rock texture. I would do this with actual rocks if I had actual rocks, but aluminum foil all ground up does work just as well. And I'm going to use the old secret sauce, a little bit of Modpodge, and some black paint. And that's not black, that's green. Let's go grab some black paint real quick. Hit it with some black. Mix it all together. And that'll put a good seal on the bottom layer. So I also realized that for this I did forget to record making the dirt texture. So what that was sand, a little bit of thicker coarse dirt, a little bit of spackling, Modpodge, and some brown paint, and then I just smeared it all around to make a dirt type texture. And then after that, it took probably about like 5 to 6 hours to dry, and now I'm just adding some tacky glue. Well, not tacky glue, it's static tack, I think it's called, for some grass. And then I'm going to add some static grass on top of that. I should eventually get a real static grass applicator, but I'm cheap, and this one was only $20, so that's what I'm going to use. Oh, little guy fell off. I'm going to have to super glue him back on in a little bit. And shake, 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 shake. And without further ado, I do appreciate if you stayed until the end. I would also appreciate if you liked and subscribed. If you have any comments, throw those down below. I know, like I said before, it has been a long time since I last posted. I do appreciate the wait. I'm gonna stop talking, let you enjoy, and I'll see you next video. Bye.